Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I want to do something a little bit different. Usually I'm doing a bunch of fabrication work and everything, but today I actually want to talk about my car. I drive a 2009 BMW 335 Xi. It's a E90. We've had a long road with this car. At first I did, the full bolt-ons, the typical 500 horsepower mark. I did full bolt-ons. I was tuned by Michael Hollingsworth. We ended up blowing those turbos. We were tuned around 22 psi. So then our next stage up here was upgraded twins. We actually ended up going with VIV's 17T turbos, 11 blades. Those turbos were pretty nice. So that one I did the high flow outlets, inlets, the basic bolt-ons and everything to support it, 3.5-inch exhaust. For the E90s, the all-wheel drive chassis is kind of hard to get an exhaust for it. I understand that. The VRSF one doesn't really bolt on. So this one I actually ended up going with a custom 3.5-inch exhaust. At the time, I wasn't a fabricator and I wasn't doing any of this stuff, so I got a buddy of mine. His name is Goalie Built. He actually made the exhaust for me. Absolutely love it. But with the 17T turbos, we were also tuned by Michael Hollingsworth, and we made around 27 psi on those. I never did a dyno or anything, but they pulled pretty good. Unfortunately, those turbos ended up blowing on me because I wanted to put exhaust burbles. Don't do exhaust burbles on twins, please, if you want your turbos to last. But those turbos lasted me around 8,000 miles until I turned on the burbles. So I was tired of the twins, plus the headache of replacing 2 turbos, all the lines, all the gaskets and everything. So that's why I actually decided to build my own single turbo kit. If you guys have seen my other videos, if you guys have not, please go check those out. I show you guys how to build a complete single turbo manifold for the N54s. It fits all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive chassis. But yes, so I ended up going single turbo this time. All the supporting mods, wastegates, turbos, the manifolds. I actually ended up changing my tuner on this, so we ended up going with CD919. I'm so glad I made the decision to go with the new tuner. I was talking with everybody between Doc Vu, CD919, Motive Tuning, and CD919 came on top. So that's the guy who I ended up going with, and I absolutely love it. Tune is super smooth. I have no issues. I remember when I was with Michael Hollingsworth, every time I'll do a pull when I go to on race nights, I'll end up misfiring. So I would have to shut off the car or clear it through MHD. It was just a headache. So now with his new tune, and I'm also on Reflex Plus now, before I was on JB4, it's just so much smoother, so much cleaner. You can control port injection, everything on one little box, compared to the JB4 where you have this harness and everything that comes up with, and then you have to buy another split-second box for your port injection. It's just a headache and it's a mess. So if you guys are looking for a new tuner or anything for your car, CD919 and MHD Reflex Plus, highly recommended. But I'll show you guys the car a little bit. It's a little bit outside. So like I said, it's a 2009 BMW E90 335 Xi. So it's an LCI. It's lowered on BC coilovers. I don't remember exactly what model they are. But on the wheels, I'm running Curva C300s. They are 19 by 10s, positive 35 offset. And then for the outside cosmetics and everything, I don't really have too much on here. It's just basically a plain body. It is a M Sport. The rear trunk, if you guys watched our other videos in our other channel on Suicide E92, we're actually in the process of doing a carbon fiber skin on the trunk, a forged carbon. Unfortunately, I didn't have the time to finish the trunk, but I will be getting back to it, don't worry. But for the front, we have a M4 bumper, so we'll be showing you guys that. For body style, everything looks clean in my opinion. I like a nice clean look, nothing crazy. People do extended the side skirt lips, carbon and all that stuff. For the front, I'm running the M4 style bumper. I absolutely love this bumper. I got this one on eBay for a couple $100. It wasn't bad at all. I'm super happy with it. Fitment is perfect. For headlights, I'm running the eBay specials. They have nice angel eyes. Let me turn them on. So the angel eyes are nice and bright. It's not like the OEM headlights where you have to change the bulb in the back and then it's not a complete angel eyes, like very dim. So I love these headlights. I actually have HIDs inside them. For my engine bay, it's kind of plain in my opinion. Like, I don't have an intake manifold or anything. But I'm running the bolt-on, so I have a VRSF 7.5 front mount intercooler in here, HD race intercooler I think they call it. I have VRSF charge pipe with a tile blow-off valve. I have the BMS oil cap. Highly recommend to get the aluminum ones because my plastic one cracked for some reason one time when I was driving and I had oil everywhere, so it just made a mess. So I went with the BMS aluminum one. I don't have the temp sensor or the coolant temp, whatever, to keep the coolant temps. I don't have any of that. It's all stock. I'm running Precision Raceworks ignition coils. A lot of people are telling me to run the S55 coil packs or something like that, but I like to show off my build. I don't want to have a coil pack that looks like factory, so I like the Precision Raceworks. I've never had a misfire, never had an issue with them. They're also powering NGK's two-step Kohler Iridiums. Those are gapped to 0.20, I believe it is, with a single turbo setup. Here I'm running my homemade single turbo manifold. It's paired with a Ford Warner S362. It's a 62 mil T3 flange with a 0.82 housing. Turbo spool is actually pretty quick. I'm surprised for a journal bearing turbo spools are pretty quick. So I'm full boost and we're tuned at 27 psi. I'm full boost by 4,000 RPM. Maybe before that, I have to check the logs, but it's for sure around 4,000 RPM, full boost. Pulls like a freaking freight train. Like I said, over here I'm running here. I'll even show you guys a DME, but not too many people open up their builds on YouTube when they're showing off the car, but we're gonna do that today. I want to show you guys how clean the Reflex keeps this box. So here I have my USB cable in here in case I ever gotta plug in the laptop to check my misfires or anything, if I ever do have one for a failed injector for port injection. But here is the box, the Reflex Plus. It fits inside there, it's nice and tight. It's just one plug that comes out of the box instead of all this harness has to get spliced into everything. And then you just poly tap them into the existing harness that's inside there. But other than that, it's nice and clean, it's tight. The box fits perfectly fine. I don't have to worry about it. I am using the Reflex also. It has 2 or 4 aux ports, I believe it is. One of the aux ports are controlling one of my secondary fuel pumps. So for fuel setup, I am running dual walbro 535 pumps. I am running a bucketless system on them as well. Stock fuel lines and everything. I do have the Precision Raceworks upgraded fuel line for 85. I just haven't installed it yet because I actually had my my fuel regulator system actually cracked a hole. Actually, if I have footage of that, I'll actually throw it in there. But fuel lines and everything is still stock. I'm not running any flex fuel sensors or anything. I will be adding all that stuff because I would like to tune for flex fuel in the future for the flexibility. I have to drive about 40 minutes to get 85. But that's the fuel pump setup, dual walbro 535s on a bucketless setup. I'll be posting some pictures of that as well, of the build and everything. It's connected to a relay, just a regular magnet pull relay. It's wired up. The signal to that relay is powered from Reflex. So also my Reflex is controlling my max solenoid as well for boost. So I absolutely love the Reflex. It's a small box and it can do literally everything you need. No external box for port injection or nothing. So back to the fuel setup. So from fuel pump goes over to the high pressure fuel pump. I'm not running any shotgun kit or any of that stuff. None of the Helix, nothing. Another thing for fueling, I'm also running port injection on here. Like I said, I'm running a black BMP adapter plate with Bosch 750cc injectors in here. It seems to be doing all right. A lot of people say if you go with an aftermarket intake manifold where it angles the injectors a little bit more, so it shoots the fuel directly inside the valve instead of on the valve and it having to suck in, if that makes sense for you guys. But in the future, I will be going for a Dock race intake manifold. I absolutely love that design. I'm not a fan of the stock looking manifolds. For me, that's not eye appealing when you open up the hood. If you have a stock location manifold, that just looks a waste of money, to be honest. I really like the relocation, the design that they have. It makes it look like the 2Js, the RBs, their manifolds. I just love it. To me, I feel like there's an empty void inside here, inside the engine bay. Over here, we have the turbo kit and everything is nice and filled, and over there is empty with a power steering reservoir. To me, it's ugly. So for engine bay looks, I don't really go for much of that stuff because the hood's usually closed, but I will be working on it. But for my setup, that's pretty much it. Running a Turbo Smart 44mm wastegate as well to control it all. But I think spring rate, I am running a 15-pound spring on there. And then with the max solenoid, we're tuned up to 27 psi. So car pulls super hard. I love it. The only thing wrong with this car now, I showed you guys all the pros and everything of the car. Now it's time for the cons. The cons are gonna be, I am all-wheel drive, automatic. So I can make a lot of power to the crank, but it's gonna be hard to get it down to the wheels. But don't let that unmotivate you. This car does pull really hard. So hard that I actually blew up my transmission. So that's also exciting because now it's time to upgrade with a new platform that's out here from a buddy of mine at Joshua Guru Work Auto. He's actually going to be sending us a 6HP 28X transmission kit that we purchased. Super excited for that to arrive. Before I found out about his kit, I was actually looking to do the Precision Dynamics or Dynamic Auto Works, something like that. They make upgraded clutch packs for our 6HP 19s and 6HP 21 transmissions. So those clutch packs are supposed to be rated up to 1,000 foot-pounds of torque or 1,000 horsepower. I forgot what they rated at. Unfortunately, all the research that I've done on those clutch pack kits, everyone says that they took it to shops to get professionally rebuilt transmissions with these clutch packs and their transmission never ran the same. Some transmission seized up on startup. It's just a huge headache. I didn't want to deal with any of that. I found out about Joshua's 6HP 28 transmission kit a while back, so I was kind of curious about it. I've never heard of it before. He's the first one to come out with the thing, so I hit him up. I added him on Facebook and I was like, hey, I've been hearing a lot about this kit. You mind telling me a little about things? One thing I will say about Joshua is I don't know him personally. This is just something I've met him on Facebook, you know what I mean? Hey, I've heard about you, let me talk to you for a little bit. Absolutely cool guy. Never had an issue with him. Answered any question I needed at any time of the day. I can hit him up late at night, early in the morning. He always gets back to me. He told me so much info on his kit than what you can find on these professional websites and everything about their kits. They tell you very limited stuff. And when you email these companies, you never get a reply, which kind of sucks when somebody's trying to build their car and they're gonna spend thousands of dollars on your equipment, but you can't give us the information that we're asking for. So that kind of leads you away from them. But Joshua tells me every single thing that I need. He gives you one-on-one support when you get the kit. He tells you where you can get the transmissions, what parts to get, any upgrades. If you have any issues, he'll help you troubleshoot. Like I said, I don't know him, and he's answered every single question that I've ever needed. He always gave me tips. He found out that I'm going to be looking for another I don't really know how to say it. I do want to get into another platform. I won't say what it is yet. I want to surprise the channel with it. He actually recommended me not to get the kit because he thought that I was gonna get rid of the car. So that's a nice guy, you know what I mean? Something like that shows me that you're not trying to sell me something just because you want the money. You know what I mean? You actually care about your customers. So that meant a lot to me. I do want to get into another platform, but just so you guys know, I will not be getting rid of I will not be getting rid of the 335. The M54 Platinum will always be in my heart. But like, that just shows you somebody is not just looking for a flip, not for $1 or anything. They're actually supportive about their customers. They care about them. But yeah, anyways, Joshua's gonna be sending us our kit. When that comes in, we'll be doing an unboxing. I'm gonna try to do an install kit in that as well. So I'm super excited for that. The only other thing wrong with this car is actually my hood. I gotta replace the hood because, I'll put this on after. I actually got into an accident a couple years ago with this car. It was a really bad snowstorm and I was kind of in a bad situation, and I slipped on ice and I actually ended up hitting a guardrail. So I'll actually be posting some pictures of that as well. I'll motivate you guys. It doesn't matter how beat up your car is, it will always come out better or as good as it was, as long as you put in the effort for it. So I'll show pictures of the whole process of my car, the day I bought it, the day I started doing mods to it. Just little stuff to motivate the guys out there who need the motivation to start their builds again. I'm kind of give up on it. But yes, on my hood here, I have little nicks and dents here. On the top of the hood over there as well, it's bent. Actually, when I crashed the car, my hood actually ended up going flying up. Thank God it did not hit the roof, because then the car would have been totaled. But that's just little stuff that I'm missing here and there. But I think that's pretty much it for my build. If you guys have any questions or anything, or if you guys want some advice or tips or anything on what your car needs, you guys can follow me on Instagram at FrenchieFab. I'll put a link for that in the description as well. That's pretty much it. I appreciate you guys for watching my videos, supporting me, giving me tips and everything. I really do. I hope you guys look forward to future content from us, especially that 6 HP 28 swap. That is going to be unbelievable. I cannot wait. Put all that power to the ground. I kind of forgot to say about the transmission advantages. So like I said, with the 6 HPs, 19s and 21s, you can do the upgraded clutch packs, but some people had success, very little. A lot of people had failures and all that stuff. The 6 HP 28 comes off of a BMW X5, I believe is a 09 to 2012 diesel. So those transmissions are a little bit beefier. They're meant to hold the torque from a diesel. So I think that's gonna be pretty exciting. We're making a little over 600 horsepower on this car. So I wanna see if maybe with the different transmission, do my numbers show up a little bit more than my 6 HP 19 did. So I have dyno sheets of when I took the car to the dyno. I was on 24 PSI. So when I go back to the dyno, I'll make it fair and I'll turn the tune down to 24 PSI again. So it's the same tune. And we'll see what the differences are. If the transmission is giving us more power to the wheels, or is it the same and can hold a lot more power. So I'm super excited to test that as well. I'm pretty sure Joshua will be excited to see that as well. But like I said, thank you guys for watching this video today. I appreciate you guys, and see you guys on the next one.